before I joined Retail by Design, I was in the really early stages of my business in the first year, and the business that I took on already had a customer base. So there was a little bit of security there that I wasn't starting from complete scratch. But I did make quite a few changes. We evolved and we added a lot to the business model that it currently was trading as. So that was quite unknown territory, and I didn't know how I was going to navigate that. It was a new industry. We added a coffee bar into our flower shop. So I'd never done the hospitality side of things before. So I just sort of went in with the mindset of I'm going to give everything a go. I knew I was probably going to burn out. I knew it was going to be stressful, but I just needed to see if it was going to work and what the business looked like. So there was a customer base there, but there was absolutely no strategy, particularly within the business. I didn't adopt any sort of policies or operations, no procedures. I didn't have any idea about the accounts before. I knew roughly what a turnover looked like, but I didn't know the back end to anything. Again, I didn't adopt anything that came through from the way we do things, why we do things, and financially what that looked like. So the business had grown really rapidly in the first year. That's when I reached out to Catherine, but I'd already done a lot of Catherine's seminars before, or followed online. So I felt like I really knew and trusted Catherine already, because I think nowadays you can see so much online and everyone promises you the world and it just all looks great, and they really tap into sort of the call to actions for business owners that really are crying out for help. And actually, you've really got to go careful with who's there and what they're doing and what their background is. But having followed Catherine for such a long time, I did feel really reassured that she was what she said she was. She did have all the amazing experience, and I just felt that her personality was going to be really suited to me. So the business grew really rapidly. The team was evolving. It was coming in, it was going. I've got a young family at home. And I had the realization that I don't have a business partner, but I just couldn't run the business how I'd want to run the business completely by myself, making all the decisions by myself and just not knowing certain things, spending so long researching things and learning things. But actually there's somebody out there that's got a world of experience that they could help me. So it was kind of the realization that I can do it by myself with a bit of support. And that support then came in Catherine. That's where I was at. Most valuable shift, this stuck with me. There's bigger things and there's smaller things, but I think it's been the overall support with everything. So for me, particularly having the mentoring sessions with Annabelle was an added something that I sort of knew about, but didn't realize how many sessions we'd get, or just kind of the intensity that we would receive in the support with that. It just worked perfectly with what I would then work on with Catherine, the way we would look at the business there, but then what Annabelle was able to pull out of me as a person within my traits, and just looking at shifting my mindset. Once we unlocked that, it then made my work with Catherine easier. So I do think that the two services combined is really, really powerful. And it definitely, for me, was one of the reasons that I committed for a second round doing Retail by Design, because I would have loved to have continued working with Catherine and Annabelle individually. So it just made sense to do a round two and do it in the same sort of structure. So having the accountability with the regular calls and setting tasks that I would have been kind of setting for myself, but actually if I didn't then do the tasks, no one was holding me accountable for that. I've really felt that I owed it to Catherine to owe it to myself to just get the most out of that. And I just think having that accountability definitely has been the big win. And then the small wins have been the small things I now do weekly and daily, rather than putting it off as a big task of, oh, okay, that's a dream and hopefully I'll get to do that one day. Catherine now encourages me to just send that email or just make that phone call, or just do that one thing this week and just see where that goes. And that's a confidence builder, really, because before I just didn't have that confidence in myself to to do the small wins and tick off a few small things the week. So now when I sort of set my task list at the start of the week, it's still huge. I'm still probably not going to get to the end of the task list, but I always put 2 or 3 things at the top that is working on the business rather than in the business. And these were things that I used to set aside for when I would get a paperwork day or a bit of time off where I was like, oh, I can really work on my business. Now I work on the business constantly. And that might come in the form of the small wins, or it might be that I'm working on a bigger picture. And then I've got the support from Catherine as I work my way through that. But the little small things, that's come from Catherine's encouragement, because I just didn't do that before. I didn't have the confidence to do it before. The thing that surprised me with working with Retail by Design was probably how quickly I grew in confidence to figure out the numbers. I thought it was going to take me a lot longer. I thought I was going to have to make lots of changes. And I just didn't really know what I was going into with that side of things. Sometimes you can be put off and you just think, oh, it's fine, it's all okay, because you're taking money, so it must be okay. But I think I was really surprised to learn how much I could learn about my business and how quickly, and then the confidence it gave me to make decisions with confidence again moving forward, because I just knew a different side of it. It now makes me look at things, surprisingly, I think, I've now found a support structure that makes it feel okay to look at a bigger picture. I thought I was going to get advice and guidance and support, but I didn't know that I was probably going to look at things differently and create a new kind of circle around me of people that are like-minded, with the kind of monthly groups as well. And it's just really built me up. That probably surprised me the most, of the progression I made and how quickly I could make it. If someone is thinking about joining Retail by Design, I would encourage them to just treat it as a decision that you do in life in so many other ways. So if you join a gym membership, you will get more out of that if you go there and if you do the work. If you decide to make lifestyle changes, you'll see the change if you be consistent with the commitment to it. Is exactly the same thing. It's not a big commitment where it's like all you've got to do all the work in one go. Is really continuous and consistent, and the small changes add up to the big changes. The small quick questions lead to bigger subjects. And I was really pleasantly surprised with the level of support that I received. It didn't feel that I was ever asking too much or silly little question. No question was nothing that I didn't ever feel comfortable to ask. Or even sometimes I'd write something out, I could probably then answer it myself and not need to send it, but just knowing that I could reach out if I wanted to. Catherine's so resourceful. If she doesn't have the answer, she'll help you with somebody that might. Or when we're looking at different options, we look at it together. It's the partner that you need to help you with all of the things that go with running a business. And it just goes to show that there's support out there. It's just how you find it and how that works best for you. But for me, I find the support network in Catherine that I so needed and continue to need, and always will do, because the business is evolving. I'm always changing. There's always the next thing to be working towards. And I'm just really happy that I've found somebody that I get on so well with to do that, because now I don't feel like I'm tackling a big business all completely by myself, making all these decisions, trying to support a young family, and everything's going on and it's all on my shoulders. I just don't feel that way anymore. It's still stressful. There's always things that change. That is the nature of striving for something a little bit bigger. But having Catherine's support, I couldn't encourage anyone enough. If you want to see changes in your business, if you're serious about progressing with your business, then I think Retail by Design is a perfect way to do that, for all of the reasons of what you get included with the mentorship. I think it is completely invaluable, and hopefully it will be the best investment you make in yourself and also in your business.